I'm going to show you how you can demonstrate impact on your product management resume. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Alex. If you want to learn about business or product management, make sure to subscribe now, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. And of course, share this video with your friends who may be interested in building or product management. All right, today we're going to be talking about how to optimize your resume and showing and demonstrating impact, specifically for the product manager career path. This is a follow-up to another video I made called How to Create the Perfect Product Manager Resume. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. And after that, let's continue here. One of the first things you need to do is make sure you've got a short resume. You've got a short, concise, one-page resume, not longer. I say this all the time and it bears repeating. Make sure you cut out all the fluff. Make sure that each bullet point that you go through does not have too much extra information in it. If it's 3 lines, see if you can make it 2. If it's 2 lines, see if you can make it 1. Read each bullet point and try to understand the point that you're trying to make and see if you can make it in a shorter way. In terms of how many bullet points you should have, in general, your most recent job or the job that you're working on right now should have somewhere between 3, 5, or 7 bullets. And as you go chronologically backward in your experience, you can have less and less bullet points per job. Number 2, as you're going through your resume, make a list of all the things that you want to demonstrate. If you're making a product manager resume, what are the things and the qualities that you want to demonstrate most of all to the hiring managers and to the recruiters that are going through your resume? What are these qualities that you want to demonstrate? Forget about your experience. Just think about what are the qualities that you want to demonstrate in an ideal world. Here are a few important qualities for product manager. Number 1, building products, building features. Any end-to-end development or involvement in end-to-end development of features, products, businesses. Shipping or launching features or businesses. That's number 2. Have you shipped something? Have you launched something on any platform? A physical product, a physical service, a web product, or an app. Number 3, have you organized or led teams? This could actually be 2 different parts. Have you organized teams, informal teams or formal ones? Have you led teams? Have you thought about the business strategy? Have you had to drive the business strategy or formulate a business strategy or update one or refine one? Have you had interaction with the users, meaningful interaction with the users? Maybe user interface design, or user experience crafting, or user journey analysis? Have you worked across organizational lines, or managed people or helped people in different departments that may not necessarily speak to each other? Have you been involved in defining a particular set of features or a feature or a product or a business? Meaning defining the requirements, meaning figuring out what the user wants, translating it and what it looks like in the technical requirements, and translating user needs into what the product might actually look like. These are the general qualities that a hiring manager or recruiter will most likely look for and try to identify in any resume that they're reviewing for the product manager role. Now, the next question to ask yourself is, as you go through this list, is which bullet points on your resume speak to each one of those items? There could be multiple bullet points per item, but which bullet point or which 2 or 3 bullet points actually speak to those items? Once you map each bullet to a particular quality that you want to demonstrate, read it again and try to understand if it really gets the message across. Is what you're trying to say what you're actually saying? If not, scrap it, shorten it, reword it. As a general rule, remember to start with a strong verb in the past tense for each bullet and keep, of course, each bullet as short as possible. But you want to start with a strong verb, ideally one that sets the tone for this quality or attribute that you want to demonstrate. For instance, drove the execution, or built a set of features, or identified the critical user needs. But of course, alone is not enough to just say something like identified critical user needs. There should be a separate part of each bullet that actually specifies the impact of all of these things that you did. So what was the impact to the company, the users, the business, you or your team, or anything in the vicinity of your actions? And this impact should be measured in some sort of metrics that can be understood by the reader. So once you have your list of qualities you want to demonstrate and you've tied that to the bullet points that you've got and you've refined it so that each attribute is actually represented by 1 or more bullet points, the next piece is to fill in the impact, meaning the metrics that demonstrates the result of your efforts on all of those attributes. Now go through each one of those bullets or descriptions and ask yourself, what was the result of your actions? What was the result of this attribute? What was the result of this bullet point, period? So you organized the team. To what end? You released a product. Why? Ultimately, Who benefited from this? It could be any of the actors that are involved in this play. The users, the company, internal users, the customers if they're separate from the users, you, your team, your managers, your partners, your distributors, your vendors. It could be any one of these things. This result is what we mean when we say impact. The key attribute plus the result of your work is how you demonstrate impact. So when you're thinking about demonstrating this impact, you can think of product metrics or user metrics in general. When you think of product metrics, you're thinking of reliability of the product, service issues, consistencies, issue rate, defect rate, how often are problems happening. Problems could be of different sort, visual, technical, customer service, user experience, and everything that has to do with the product specifically functioning as it's supposed to function. On the user side of things, you can start from the very, very top of a user's experience. When the user doesn't know anything about the product, did you have an impact on the user finding out about the product, which is this awareness stage or the acquisition stage, when you actually helped get more customers or users for the product? Did you have an impact on the engagement or the activation stage of the user flow, of the user journey? Was there somehow more activation of users that have seen your product and decided to engage with the product? What about deeper engagement or retention when users come back after a certain period of time, or maybe use the product multiple times or more often, or for a longer time duration? Are the users referring or recommending the product more? Are the users taking critical actions inside the product, or are the users simply using the product more? Finally, are the users getting more value out of the product, more utility out of the product, more enjoyment? Those are all important metrics as far as the user is concerned, user and the product. And in the very bottom of the funnel, we have conversion metrics, monetization metrics. In other words, did the user take some sort of action more often or more frequently for bigger amounts when it comes to the financial aspect of the business? So did the customer make more purchases, or make purchases more frequently, or make bigger purchases, or refer other people that made purchases? How was the monetization metrics affected? So combine those product metrics and user metrics, and you can usually put together a large group of metrics from which to pick from to demonstrate those attributes that we talked about earlier. Sometimes it's going to be difficult to find out what the actual impact of your work was. In those situations, don't forget that there's internal customers, not just external customers. There could be internal customers that you're helping optimize a system. Also, the work that you may be doing may be part of a chain that results in some other bigger impact, but you can only measure the work that you performed. Sometimes you might not be able to list impact at all. In those situations, see if there's some qualitative assessments that you can use. Customer responses or internal team responses, or something else where you did have an impact, but it's hard to measure specifically numerically. That's okay too in a last resort. Sometimes maybe you can't figure out the impact quantitatively or qualitatively. In those situations, that's just a lesson for you to set goals appropriately in the future so that you know you're not just doing things, you're doing things that matter. And that's very important for a product manager. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and also share it with your friends who may be interested in the topic. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell icon so you get updates when I post new videos. If you want to know how to break into product management, check out this video. It talks at length about exactly how to do that. And I've got separate videos here or here talking about product manager career path, product management fundamentals, training videos. You can find all kinds of videos on this channel. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.